Jake, could you put me in the mic? Take the lights off? Thank you. There are peer comment sheets that I'd like you just to leave at the top of the table here. When we're all
Carol, and she'll be telling you about global warming.
What's your opinion about global warming?
Do you think it is fair to treat someone like an animal? Like you can make them perform countless hours?
How of Zachary Lemieux talking about Dwight D. Eisenhower?
Smoke rises vertically off of the sandy beaches of Normandy on July 4th, 1944, as our Allied forces clamber ashore. This mission, the Battle of Normandy, was executed from the orders of Dwight David Eisenhower, saving thousands of lives worldwide in the process. Eisenhower's most significant changes to the world occurred during his 2 terms as presidency, as well as his actions in general. How does a young Kansas boy grow up in a poverty-stricken family to become the 34th President of the United States? Well, you're about to find out. This amazing man was born on October 14th, 1890. Even though he was born in Denison, Texas, and was 3rd out of 7 sons, he grew up in Abilene, Kansas on a farm. During Eisenhower's attendance at West Point, he excelled in many sports, including football. He put his heart and soul into every game. This philosophy carried through during his efforts as a general, president, and inspirational leader. Eisenhower sadly later encountered a knee injury that ended his career, though Eisenhower continued success at West Point, eventually graduating as a commissioned 2nd lieutenant in the United States Army. From there, he was sent to Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Here, he met Mamie Geneva Dowd, whom he married in 1916. After his marriage, he was promoted captain and made part of the 57th Infantry. As captain, he was sent to Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, to teach younger officer candidates, demonstrating his abilities as a leader and a teacher. After World War I ended, Eisenhower accepted the role as president of Columbia University. Eisenhower's first son, Icky, sadly died an infant. The couple were deeply sorrowed and depressed, but just a year later, they received some relief by the birth of their second son, John. After the bombings of Pearl Harbor, which dragged us into World War II, Eisenhower was called to General Marshall's office in Washington for a warplane assignment. He commanded the Allied forces landing in North Africa in 1942. By the occurrence of D-Day, in 1944, Eisenhower was supreme commander of the troops invading France. In 1951, Eisenhower left Columbia University to assume supreme command over the new NATO forces being assembled in Europe. In 1952, Eisenhower first decided to run for president. "I like Ike" became an irresistible slogan nationally. Eisenhower won a sweeping victory over many senators, including Senator Taft. As president, Eisenhower tried to reduce the strains of the Cold War, as well as trying to maintain world peace. In 1953, a signing of truce brought an armed peace along the borders of South Korea. At the time, America and Russia were both developing hydrogen bombs. Eisenhower later became aware of this, so he met in Geneva in July 1955 with the leaders of France, Britain, and Russia. Eisenhower explained America and Russia exchanged blueprints of their hydrogen bombs, giving each other aerial photography to the other country. Russia was stoically silent during this meeting, but finally concluded an agreement. Looks like Eisenhower was on the right path to maintaining world peace. In 1956, Eisenhower suffered a heart attack, so after 7 years he left the hospital, and a year later, doctors reported his recovery. In 1957, Eisenhower was yet again elected for president for a second term. Not far after, 14 days after he was elected for a second term, Eisenhower suffered a stroke that severely impaired his unprepared speech at a European NATO base. In 1959, he met with Russian leader Nikita Khrushchev to assure compliance with the orders of federal to negotiate peace after the Cold War. In 1951, before Eisenhower left the office, Eisenhower said that America is the strongest, most influential, and most productive nation in the world. He concluded with a prayer for peace in the goodness of time. Dwight David Eisenhower sadly passed away on March 28, 1969. Eisenhower still continues to affect us today by his lasting overall policies. As Susan Eisenhower, his granddaughter, has also pointed out, to meet the challenges of this war, the war on terrorism, over the long haul, we, the U.S., will have to be smarter, more diplomatic, and better able to prioritize our resources. Only then, as Eisenhower once said, would it be possible for all people to live together in a peace guaranteed by the binding force of mutual respect and love. Only then will we truly be able to say that the U.S. is doing everything it can to achieve lasting peace and security in our time. Thank you.
Zach, did you want to point out anything on your poster?
Oh, sure. This is Eisenhower at West Point, and this is him during his childhood. This is him during his first term as president, and here he is at the Battle of Normandy, giving the soldiers orders. Here's his presidential campaign, and if you didn't see, I like Ike is here, we like Ike. Yeah, we like Ike, I like Ike, all that, which made him president. And here's him as a general.
Zach, it's a funny memory that I have, but I was pretty young, and we were in the a parking lot, and someone walked up to me, a political person, campaigner, and gave me a little button. If I can find that, and I might still have it, it said, "I like Ike" on it. I remember that.
Oh, wow.
This is cool. It also tells you how old I am.
Good job.